accurate balance and compare the news about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our global village. Today is Tuesday, April 21, 2026. My name is Menso Mendy presenting this edition of the program. Stories topping the headlines. President Joseph Boakai calls for stronger accountability and results-driven governance across government ministries and agencies. Montreal County District 2 Representative Sekou Khan denies allegation of holding secret meetings with President Joseph Boakai and Chief Justice Yamin Gbese regarding the expulsion of former Representative Yeket Cordoba. And Minister of State for Presidential Affairs Samuel Steve Kuya reaffirms government commitment to strengthening Liberia's financial and insurance sectors. The news bulletin, the voices of those making the news are all packaged onto this presentation. But first is Koran Rufus and the news bulletin. Good morning, Koran.
Good morning, Meso. Good morning, everyone. President Joseph Boakai has called for stronger accountability, result-driven governance across government ministries and agencies. Speaking Monday, April 20, at the signing of performance contract with heads of ministries and agencies, President Boakai made it clear that his administration will not create excuses for underperformance, but will instead provide the necessary support for institutions to deliver. The Liberian leader assured officials that the government, through the cabinet, will step in where support is needed. He described performance as a shared responsibility between leadership and the institutions they oversee, stressing that collaboration is key to achieving national development goals. President Boakai used the occasion to signal its shift in governance, calling for a transition from planning to tangible results and accountability. He further stressed that progress will be measured systematically across institutions, targets, and timeline. The president also thanked government officials for their services, urging them to remain committed to fulfilling promises made to the Liberian people. Montserrat County District Matu Representative Sekou Khan has denied allegations that he held secret meetings with President Joseph Boakai and Chief Justice Yamin Gbese regarding the expulsion of former Representative Yeke Kolban. Speaking to reporters Monday at his office at the Capitol building in Monrovia, Representative Khan described the claim as false and misleading, stressing that he has not held any such meeting as alleged. The accusation was made by former Representative Koluba during a podcast appearance on Sunday, where he claimed that Cannon had engaged in discussions with both the President and the Chief Justice concerning his removal from the legislature. Responding to the allegation, the district number 2 representative expressed frustration over what he described as a pattern of unsubstantiated claims by the former colleague. He emphasized that the responsibility to provide evidence lies with the accuser. According to him, he has not met with either President Boakai or Chief Justice Gbese in the past 5 months, revealing that he was out of the country from January 19 to March 8 for personal reasons, making the alleged meeting impossible. The Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, Samuel Steve Kuya, has reaffirmed the government's commitment to strengthen Liberia's financial and insurance sectors, describing them as key pillars for national development. Speaking Monday, April 20, at the opening of the West Africa Insurance Companies Association Annual General Meeting and Educational Conference 2026, Minister Steve Kuya said the development of a robust insurance sector aligns with the broader vision of President Joseph Boakai. The minister emphasized that under President Joseph Boakai's leadership, the government remains focused on strengthening governance within the financial sector, improving regulatory framework, and encouraging responsible investment. Steve Kuya highlighted the growing importance of insurance as Liberia's economy continues to expand, stressing that the sector must evolve alongside infrastructure development, business growth, and deepening financial market. Addressing broader global challenges, the minister pointed to increasing economic pressures, climate risks, and evolving financial system affecting countries across the world. He also referenced ongoing tension in the Middle East, not their rapid effect on global market and financial stability. The Chief Executive Officer of Kashima Protection Service, Lawrence Jibo, has described Liberia's security system as extensive, but emphasized the need for professional and technology-driven services to enhance protection for both government and corporate institutions. Lieutenant Colonel Jipo, a retired member of the United States military with over 28 years of services, said his return to Liberia is motivated by a desire to contribute meaningfully to the country's security sector. Speaking on OK FM on Monday in Monrovia, Jibo disclosed that Kashima Protection Service utilizes advanced technology in securing facilities under its jurisdiction, a factor he said distinguishes the company from other operating in the country. Jibo further explained that the institution has carved out a specific niche and is focused on delivering professional services tailored to meet the needs of clients. He revealed that Kashima Protection Service is planning to expand its operation by providing security services to several government ministries and agencies in the coming years. The CEO also emphasized the importance of structural corporate security systems, describing them as essential mechanisms for protecting assets, information, and operations from protection threat. The Minister of Youth and Sports, Kalina Kra, has outlined several major initiatives the ministry is set to undertake, emphasizing technical and vocational education and training as a means of creating employment opportunities for young people across the country. Speaking in an interview, Voice of Gompa at the close of County 2, Minister Kra explained that TVET remains a key component of the ministry's strategy, focusing on providing vocational skill training, especially for out-of-school youth. According to her, after the ministry has opened and strengthened more than 20 youth centers across the country, these centers will continue to empower young people with practical skills such as soap making, tie-dyeing, and other vocational trades. She added that programs have also been developed to support trained youth who are yet to secure employment, including the cadet program, which targets both undergraduate students and certificate holders. At the same time, the minister emphasized the importance of talent development in sports. She noted that while sports can promote entertainment and national unity, there is also a need to nurture young talents in a way that provides economic benefit for their athletes and their family. Police in Grand Cayman County are investigating the mysterious joining of a 5-year-old girl in an incident that has raised serious concern among residents in the county. According to reports, the child was declared missing on Wednesday in Gawula district, prompting a search effort by family members and community residents. Our Grand Cayman County correspondent Matt Roger says the live body of the girl was discovered on Thursday in Lake Piso, a major water body in the county, under circumstances that remain unclear. Police intervention followed growing concern from citizens, leading to the launch of a formal investigation. 4 persons have since been detained as part of effort to establish the actual cause of the child's death. The Grand Cayman County Health Officer Daniel Kofa has disclosed several major challenges affecting the health sector within the county since he took office, highlighting gaps in human resource, poor infrastructure, and adequate medical supply, among others. Speaking in an interview on Monday, April 20 in Grand Cayman County, Kofa explained that the county health team is a decentralized arm of the Ministry of Health, responsible to providing and administering health services across the county. He noted that the team plays a key role in maintaining healthcare delivery at the local level. According to him, the county health team supervises health facilities across the county and carries out two core functions, including clinical health services and public health services. He emphasized that despite numerous challenges, the team continues to strive to fulfill its responsibility. Kofa further stated that with the support from the Ministry of Health, Luis Poto, the institution has made progress in addressing some of the issues. He noted that the county previously faced several human resource shortages with health facility lacking adequate staff, but added that interventions from the ministry have helped to improve the situation. The Inter-Party Consultative Committee has endorsed the nomination of Senator Wider as chairman of the National Election Commission. Speaking in an interview recently, the national coordinator of the RPCC, Gabriel Sidi, said the decision represents the collective position of the majority of political parties within the institution. He noted that the endorsement is granted in relevant provisions of Liberia's constitution, particularly Article 54 and Article 89, as well as section of the National Election Law. He noted that thus, according to him, the RPCC support is based on the expectation that the leadership of the NEC must embody independence, impartiality, professional competence, and a strong commitment to democratic principles and the rule of law. Sidi also used the occasion to call on the Liberian Senate to act promptly in fulfilling its constitutional responsibility, urging the Senate to review and investigate the nominee and, where appropriate, confirm the appointment in a process that is timely, transparent, and impartial. He reaffirmed the RPCC's commitment to promoting peaceful, credible, and transparent elections in Liberia, noting that endorsement aligns with the group's broader goal of strengthening democratic governance. Health authorities in Bong County has confirmed one death from Lassa fever, while another patient is currently undergoing treatment for the virus. The health officer, Dr. Dunan Zogwe, disclosed in an interview with journalists that 2 cases of Lassa fever have been recorded in recent months, resulting in 1 fatality. He noted that second patient is showing signs of improvement and is being closely monitored by health practitioners. Dr. Zugwe also revealed that the county is experiencing an increase in mental cases affecting several communities. According to him, many of the affected children are either unvaccinated or have not completed their immunization schedule. In response, the county health team has launched a vaccination campaign targeting hotspots area, including Fuama District, Sanayi District, and Jakwale District. The county health officer is urging residents to seek treatment at recognized health facilities instead of relying on herbal remedies, warning that such practices could delay proper medical care. Meanwhile, he clarified that there are currently no reported cases of mpox in the county. Dr. Zugbe further disclosed that efforts are ongoing to address hepatitis B, which remains a significant public health concern in Liberia. Health authorities continue to call for increased community awareness and cooperation as they work to contain the spread of infectious diseases across the country. And Bombing County District No. 3 Representative Sam Jella has denied reports linking him to signing a resolution that led to the expulsion of Montserrat County District No. 10 Representative Yeke Kolba. It can be recalled on Friday, April 17, about 49 members of the House of Representatives reportedly signed a resolution for the expulsion of their colleagues Yeke Kolba for statement made regarding the Liberia-Guinea border. Responding to it, Documents circulating on social media that include his signature, Representative Jala revealed that he has not signed any document supporting Koluba's removal from the House of Representatives. He described the report as unverified and insisted that he is unaware of any such resolution. The Birmingham County lawmaker disclosed that he is currently out of Monrovia, but will return to the Capitol building to investigate the matter and determine the source of the alleged document. While distancing himself from reported move, Representative Jala acknowledged the House has the authority to discipline its members, stressing that any action against Representative Koluba must follow proper legislative procedures. Well, Meso, it's over to you for the continuation of Blaze News Point.
Conan Rufus with the news bulletin is indeed a record featured on Blaze News Point. For noon fast, factual, and always up to date, you are just in tune to Blaze News Point. 45 minutes of the most accurate, balanced, and untainted news about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our one world. Here are the big stories topping the headlines. President Joseph Boycott calls for stronger accountability and results-driven governance across government ministries and agencies. Montserrat County District 2 Representative Sekou Conan denies allegations of holding secret meetings with President Joseph Boakai and Chief Justice Yamin Gbaise regarding the expulsion of former Representative Yeket Koduba. And Minister of State for Presidential Affairs Samuel Stifia reaffirms government commitment to strengthening Liberia's financial and insurance sectors. The voices of those making the news are see ahead for this week. Toby back. Welcome back to Blaze News Point. We're going to take our first development. President Joseph Boakai has called for stronger accountability and results-driven governance across government ministries and agencies. Speaking Monday, April 20th, at the signing of performance contracts with heads of ministries and agencies, President Boakai made it clear that his administration will not create excuses for underperformance but will instead provide the necessary support for institutions to deliver. He described performance as a shared responsibility between leadership and the institutions they oversee, stressing that collaboration is key to achieving national development goals.
So, as your president, I cannot be creating the conditions for your performance. Where institutions need technical support, the cabinet will ensure it will provide. Where capacity gaps persist, we will invest in training. Where funding constraints exist, we will work to close those gaps. Performance is a partnership between leadership and the institutions it leads. Our partners. Let's today mark the moment we strengthen Liberia's commitment to accountable governance, from a government that plans for to a government that performs, from a government that reports, to a government that is held accountable, and from a government that manages to a government that improves. Together, institutions by institution, target by target, year by year, we will deliver the Nigeria our people which is good. I want to thank all of you. As I always say, you keep our promises by what you do. And the only thing make this country better is by what you do. So we have God's blessing upon all of us, including our partners, save our country. And we thank you all.
That's the voice of President Joseph Boakai calling for stronger accountability and results-driven governance across government ministries and agencies. He spoke on Monday, April 20, at the signing of performance contract with heads of ministries and agencies in Monrovia. Montserrat County District 2 Representative Sekou Conan has denied allegations and held secret meetings with President Joseph Boakai and Chief Justice Yamin Gbaise regarding the expulsion of former Representative Yeket Koduba. Speaking to reporters Monday at his office at the Capitol building in Monrovia, Representative Cannon described the claims as false and misleading, stressing that he has not held any such meetings as alleged. The District 2 representative expressed frustration over what he described as a pattern of unsubstantiated claims by his former colleague.
Just to address accusation that was made by my colleagues yesterday, my former colleagues, Honorable Yeket Koduba, regarding the Chief Justice and myself. He claimed that there was a meeting held with the President, and after the meeting I called him and said to him that we have agreed that the President told us to say that the communication was never received. I just tried to say, my former colleagues, we went together, and you first thing, Honorable Koduba, I sat in Chimwa for 3 years, does not even know the district I represent. If you listen to a podcast, he said, I represent the people of district I represent the people of district Montserrat. If you my name, he says Sekou Kone. I'm not calling from Sekou Kone. But again, Honorable Koduba is someone who has always made those kind of claims, and that's something that he cannot prove. He claimed I called him. If I went to a meeting with the President along with the Chief Justice, and one of those who signed the paper to have him expelled, then I will call him and tell him that again the burden of proof rests on the accusation, on the accuser rather. He needs to provide, the column that I called him to show you. But I thought not to dignify him, but because of the integrity of the judiciary, that's why, and my own little integrity I have, I thought to make the clarity that at no time did I call him, at no time. Even in the corridor when he was here, I said, I will call him, I just found by him easily. I've never had any interaction with him. The kind of person I am, because I respect myself. I don't come and make open statements that I cannot justify, I cannot authenticate. So I thought to say, at no time did I speak with him. At no time did I went to any meeting with the President or the Chief Justice. I've been out of this place since the 19th of January. And I came back on the 18th, on the 8th of March, because my wife was sick and I was away for that.
That's the voice of Montserrat County District 2 Representative Sekou Kane denying allegation that he held secret meetings with President Joseph Boakai and Chief Joseph Yamin Gwesi regarding the expulsion of former Representative Yeket Koduba. He made a disclosure at his Capitol building office in Monrovia on Monday. The Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, Samuel Stikwia, has reaffirmed the government commitment to strengthening the various financial and insurance sectors, describing them as key pillars for national development. Speaking Monday, April 20th, at the opening of the West Africa Insurance Companies Association Annual General Meeting and Education Conference 2026, Minister Stikwia said the development of a robust insurance sector is aligned with the broader vision of President Joseph Boakai. The minister emphasized that under President Boakai's leadership, the government remains focused on strengthening governance within the financial sector, improving regulatory frameworks, and encouraging responsible investments.
For Liberia, the development of a stronger insurance sector is aligned with the President's national developmental objectives. Under the leadership of our President, President Boakai, the government remains committed to strengthening financial sector governance. The government remains firm in improving regulatory framework and encouraging responsible investments that will support inclusive growth. We also recognize that a modern insurance sector must evolve alongside the broader economy as our infrastructure expands, as our businesses grow, and our financial markets deepen, the role of insurance will become even more critical. It will help us to manage risks, mobilize capital, and protect both the public and private investments. Equally important is education and capacity building. Conferences such as this provide inexplicable opportunities for professionals across the region, for all of us to deepen our expertise and adapt to emerging global standards. It also demonstrates the shared commitment among our countries to build a stronger financial system that will serve the interest of our people. Liberia, therefore, welcomes this opportunity to host leaders from across our region. You're welcome to Liberia. As you deliberate over the next several days, I encourage you to use this platform to generate practical ideas, strengthen partnership, and advance reforms that will make the insurance sector even more.
Addressing broader global challenges, the minister pointed to increasing economic pressure, climate risk, and evolving financial system affecting countries across the world. He also referenced ongoing tension in the Middle East, noting that the rapid inflation on global markets and financial stability is affecting economy across the country.
Across our region, across our world, we are confronted by different economic pressures, climate risks, evolving financial systems, and thanks to certain world leaders who have decided to make the Middle East a little more active than usual, we can say that there are many more financial risks that we face today. The situation in the Middle East has caused ripple effects that are felt across the world, and we are no exceptions. And so insurance, we believe, sits in that center to be able to assure, to be able to give us assurance our business, irrespective of the difficulties that we face in our world today. That is exactly why such a gathering is so important, because it brings together insurers, regulators, policymakers, and experts to exchange knowledge, to share experiences, and to chart a collective path forward for the industry across West Africa and across the world. Your discussions over the coming days, we will focus on environmental, social, and governance principles, commonly referred to as ESG. These principles are no longer optional considerations for the financial sector. Instead, we believe that they are essential tools for sustainable growth. And by embedding ESG principles into the insurance culture of our region, we strengthen resilience, not only within the industry, but also within our societies as a whole.
That's the voice of the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, Samuel Chifuya, reaffirming the government commitment to strengthening Liberia's financial and insurance sectors, describing them as key pillars for national development. At the same time, pointing to increasing economic pressure, climate risk, and evolving financial system affecting countries across the world. Police in Grand Cayman County are investigating the mysterious drowning of a 5-year-old girl in an incident that raised concern among residents of the county. According to reports, the child was declared missing on Wednesday in Gawula district, prompting a search effort by family members and community residents. Our Grand Cayman County correspondent, Mark Rogers, has more on this development and now report.
Well, this situation happened in a town called Dendu. Dendu is in Gawula district, and the child went missing on Wednesday, and on Thursday she was discovered dead, wrapped in fishing net in a Lake Piso in Bendu. So the following day, after the body was discovered, that very day the police did not go there. The child was lying, the body was still lying in the water. It was the next morning when the police went there and decided to do an investigation that led to the drowning of the child. But 5-year-old, it became so mysterious that where the child, people said that for a child of 5 years to walk from where the body was found, it was just something it was impossible or impossible. So this is where the police decided to arrest some family members and even those around that identical area the child was from. So as we speak, the police, we have about 4 persons in the custody of the police undergoing investigation regarding the 5-year-old child death. But this is something that has really serious concern in the identical community. Well, after the body was discovered, when the police went there, they set up a 15-man coroner jury to look at the body. Part actually was not extracted, but what became troubling is that for a 5-year-old to just leave the town and where they saw the child, this is where the people are somehow doubting about. And this is the reason why the 5-year-old child was left with her aunt, the one in the bush, the one on the farm. After she returned, she could not see her child. That's raised an alarm. And that very day, everybody started searching for the girl from one end to another. It was the next morning when she was
That's the voice of Mark Rogers, our Grand Cayman County correspondent, reporting after police in Grand Cayman County investigate the mysterious drowning of a 5-year-old girl in an incident that raised concern among residents of the county. Today's development now, health authorities in Bon County have confirmed one death from loss of fever, while another patient is currently undergoing treatment for the virus. The county health officers, Dr. Danon Zogba, disclosed in an interview with journalists that 2 cases of loss of fever have been recorded in recent months, resulting in 1 fatality. Dr. Zogba also revealed that the county is experiencing an increase in measles cases affecting several communities.
From the prison compound, that there was a suspected case there, and our team went swiftly on ground to see how best they can inspect. When they got there, they notified us that it was not impost to say. So for now, we do not add the impost case. And we also been having a lot of support from the ministry, from the EPR division, in Southland division, where they've been sending team to do some supervision to also help us. But our concern have been measles. So in recent time, we have the social measures in the country, and that is not just unique to Bon County. We have cases all across the country. But for Bon County, we've been trying to see how best we can do ring vaccination, because our target is, that's our plan. We noticed that some of those people coming down with measles are either children who did not complete their vaccines or did not take their vaccines or something else. We can clear the picture for now. But then what we decided doing was, can we move in swiftly, vaccinate those that we think did not complete their vaccines, and also see how best we can start treating them. So we started first from the Farmer region, where we have the case of Sanoye, because from Sanoye, many of our cases from Sanoye were crossing from Bakulo end. And then we also move in there and Ojokole as well. And currently we have measures all across Bon County, but our team is also on ground to see how best we can do vaccination, treatment, and the rest of it. But what we saw initially was many of the citizens are now willing to come for treatment at their facilities. Okay. Usually the older people will say, oh, use the beans water, the child drink the beans water, rub the chalk on them, and we told our people that's not all to it. So we encourage them to come to the hospital. We will treat them, get them medication, and get them vitamins and everything that will help them. So we've been doing that, and it's going on well for now. But we still got cases around when it comes to measles. And we also have Lassa fever that been in Bon County for a long time. So for the past month, we had 2 cases and we have 1 death. Currently, we have 1 case at Phoebe Hospital that we are treating, and for that patient, at least she's showing some signs of
Meanwhile, he clarified that there are currently no reported cases of mpox in Bong County. The Zogba further disclosed that efforts are ongoing to address hepatitis B, which remains a significant public health concern in Liberia.
So for hepatitis B, you see, that's one of the things I think the Ministry of Health, through NACP and other teams, are trying to see how best they can help when it comes to hepatitis B in the country. Because in June of last year, I attended a conference in Nigeria, and the discussion was centered around the issue of hepatitis B. That we have growing cases of hepatitis B now in Africa, in Liberia as well. And many of our people will always try to link it to witchcrafts. This person was poisoning, this person they pour food, they pour something in the alcohol, in the food, and the rest of them. And many of the cases that myself saw in hospital will always come like I ate food with a friend, I drank alcohol with a friend, and then my stomach started to hurt. And when you go to do tests on some other people, they are hepatitis B positive, and somehow already developed liver disease and the rest of it. So hepatitis is actually something that is drawing our attention. So recently we decided to develop a test that is currently we will be launching in the country soon. Where did the training that's called a triple elimination. So initially, like we were doing the dual test, that is what we have a script because those tests are expensive. So the idea is it possible to get a test script that once you get a blood sample and place onto that script, will get 3 results at the same time instead of just 1 or 2. Okay. So first we're doing test script for the HIV. So when you come to the hospital, we take your blood sample and place on that script, you give us the HIV test. But we move from single test to dual test. That is, if we take a blood sample and post, we will get HIV and syphilis. But now we are moving from HIV and just syphilis to hepatitis B. That is, now if we take a blood sample from someone and place on that test script, they will give us HIV, syphilis, and hepatitis B. Because the idea is, what can we do to stop the spread of hepatitis B? But the good news for hepatitis B is that there's vaccine for hepatitis B. Okay. All you have to do is get to the hospital because you cannot take the vaccine without knowing your status. You first have to do your test and know that you do not have hepatitis B, then you can take your vaccines. Okay. So that's the good news about hepatitis B. So encourage everyone to get to the hospital, do your test, and if you know there's no hepatitis B or there's a positive case, you go and take your vaccines. You got 3 doses of vaccine to take, and you are good to go.
That's the voice of Bong County Health Officers at Danon Zogba, clarifying that there are currently no reported cases of mpox in Bong County. At the same time, confirming 1 death from Lassa fever, while another patient is currently undergoing treatment for the virus in Bong County. To this development, the Chief Executive Officer of Kashiman Protection Service, Lawrence Jibo, has described Liberia's security system as extensive, but emphasized the need for professionals and technology-driven services to enhance protection for both government and corporate institutions. Lieutenant Colonel Jibo, a retired member of the United States military with over 28 years of service, said his return to Liberia is motivated by a desire to contribute meaningfully to the country's security sector. Speaking on OKFM Boviot on Monday, April 20, Jibo disclosed that Kashiman Protection Service utilizes advanced technology in securing facilities on its jurisdiction. A factor he says distinguishes the company from others operating in Liberia.
Our companies have different services, right? Like I said, multinational security company. We are mostly geared towards government and corporate institutions. We don't really do much of the residential, right? But we do more of the corporate security and governmental services. So it ranges from things like we said cash in transit, like working for the banks. You're aware of those big armored trucks, kind of transport goods and whether it's documents or it's precious items or money or whatever it is from one point to the other from the bank. So we have that program. For the government, we have what you call programs or consultant programs for like a service, a conduct of operations, where we help the government see themselves, for one. We do intelligence briefings. We look at the national intelligence infrastructure and see how we can help in the consultant side of the house. For our corporate clients, we do from VIP services all the way up to physical security. And on the physical security side of the house, We do a lot of, we do protection when it comes to how do we secure a facility. The bigger facilities, we have the different technologies that we bring in, whether it's drones, whether it's roving security, whether it is K9 teams. At some point, we have a mobility program, with helicopters and medevac. Yes, I think, the security sector, it's a big security sector, right? You got a lot of companies, right? But, we have our niche that we are going to be able to, go towards. Like I said, we stay away from residential security because we have a lot of good companies that do that, right? So we stick to the bigger organizations and the corporate. And based on the technology, based on the training and the organization and what we have to deliver and showcase to our clients, I think we should be fine.
And that's the voice of the Chief Executive Officer of Kashiman Protection Service, Lawrence Jibo, describing Liberia's security system as extensive, but emphasized the need for professional and technology-driven services to enhance protection for both government and corporate institutions. And lastly of the news, saying the Minister of Youth and Sports, Cornelia Crowd, has outlined several major initiatives